You're listening to The Ride to Work with Pastor Fred. Fuel for your faith before you clock in. Enjoy the ride.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I'll say it like that. We've made it to Friday. We've made it to Friday, and this is your ride to work. I said all those greetings and salutations that way because someone brought it to my attention that some of you may not go to work in the morning. Some of you go to work in the afternoon. Some of you go to work in the evening. Some of you work overnight. So I just wanted to make sure I greeted each and every person correctly. But we are now in our last day of the ride to work in our week entitled Side Effects. Side effects, and what a week it's been. We've talked about something helping but hurting us as well. We talked about having the right it sounded right, but it was so wrong as far as in that regard. We talked about being addicted to wrong answers. We talked about all types of things, toxic relief we've talked about, but today we're going to get to the root of it all. The root of it all. Because today's episode is called Check the Label. Check the label. I like that. I like that. Check the label. You know, because one of the greatest mistakes, and hear me when I say it, we coming right out the box. One of the greatest mistakes in life, or people make in life, is accepting things without examining them. We inspect cars before we buy them. We read contracts before we sign them. We check expiration dates before we even eat food. But somehow we let people into our spirit without any kind of inspection. We let influences like that into our minds without any discernment. We let environment shape us. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Without even questioning what they're producing in us. And now we're dealing with side effects because we never checked the label. And it's very important. Because the very first thing out of the box I need to tell you is everything has ingredients. Everything has ingredients. We're going to start right there because look, everything you consume spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and relationally has ingredients. Nothing enters your life empty. Conversations have ingredients. Music has ingredients. Relationships have ingredients. Entertainment has ingredients. Even advice is filled with ingredients, and ingredients matter because what happens is eventually they become part of your system. Hear me when I say this. See, most people only pay attention to what something feels like. But mature people, and I'm going to say it again, mature people pay attention to what something is made of. That's what you have to do because some things are packaged real nice and real beautifully. They're beautifully packaged but built destructively. Some relationships, they come all wrapped up in affections and nice words and kind terms of endearment and all that, but they're filled with manipulation. Some opportunities are wrapped in success, but watch this, it's filled with compromise. There's some things that you might have to do for that success that you might not really want to do. Some environments, even some environments are wrapped in excitement but filled with toxicity. And if you never examine what's inside of it, if you never took the time to see what was going on with it, you'll keep consuming things that slowly and methodically contaminate your spirit. You see, you cannot expect healthy fruit from toxic ingredients. You can't expect that. And as a matter of fact, let's go a little deeper in that because see, here's the problem. Most people don't recognize spiritual contamination immediately. They don't recognize it because contamination is subtle. It doesn't destroy you all at once. It changes you gradually. You stop praying like you used to. Just giving you some examples. You stop thinking clearly. You stop feeling conviction. Nothing bothers you now. You don't feel guilty about anything. You stop protecting or having your peace protected, so to speak. And it's not because you're evil. It's not that at all. It's just because your system has adapted to unhealthy ingredients. That's what's going on. And adaptation is dangerous when you adapt to dysfunction. It's dangerous. So let me tell you this, because I know you. Oh, well, what do I do? What do I do? I'm glad you asked. This is what you do. Remember this word, intentional. Intentional. You start becoming intentional about what enters your life. That's what you do. You start asking questions like, what is this producing in me? Who am I becoming around this? Does this feed my purpose, or it's just feeding my impulses? After I do this, do I feel stronger or do I feel weaker? This is what you have to do. You got to ask questions like that. Be intentional about it, because discernment is not just avoiding evil. It's recognizing what weakens your spirit. That's real discernment, because discernment is learning to recognize what drains your destiny. That's what you do. I'm giving you solution-based answers right now. That's what you do. When you adapt into unhealthy ingredients, this is what you do. You got to be intentional. Remember that word, intentional. Second thing I need you to know is everything has warnings. It has warnings. If we know everything has ingredients, also everything has warnings. Let me give you this reality. Everything comes with warning signs. Everything. The problem is we ignore them when we want something badly enough. Ooh, man. I had to say that to myself. We ignore them when we want something badly enough. And desire has a way of silencing discernment. It keeps it quiet. You saw the inconsistency, but you ignored it. You saw it. You noticed the manipulation, but you know what? You excused it away. You know that. You recognized the instability, but you kept entertaining it. You kept doing it. You saw everything that was wrong with it, but you kept entertaining it. You kept it in your space, because sometimes we don't miss the warning, we just override it. And that's what we've been doing. Some of us have been just overriding the warnings. And when you continuously do that, when you continuously override warnings, you know what happens? You train yourself to distrust your discernment. Now you don't even trust your own self. You don't even trust your own ability to recognize right from wrong, good from bad. That inner check, that hesitation, that uneasiness. Those moments where something in you said, this ain't right. It's just not right. You begin to ignore that. You don't trust that anymore. That moment, that wasn't paranoia, that was protection. But you ignored it. And ignored warnings become lived consequences. That's what happens. Can I go a little deeper? I can, because I'm the one talking, but I just want to take you a little deeper, because see, sometimes the side effect isn't the relationship. It's what the relationship normalized in you. Now, what happens is disrespect feels normal to you. I think I was just having this conversation with someone, maybe yesterday. Relational issues and stuff, and how, something has become normalized that is wrong, and other people will look at it and be taken aback, like, wow, but it feels normal to you. Chaos is familiar to you. Confusion is expected. It's not the relationship that's the side effect. The side effect is that it's normalized you. And when the warning signs become normal to you, you know what happens? You start calling dysfunction personality. Boy, you something else. I like that. That's what happens. You start calling dysfunction, oh, that's just their personality. That's dangerous, people. That's real dangerous because whatever you normalize, eventually you stop fighting. You do. And now you're accepting of everything, no matter how it makes you feel, no matter what's being done, no matter what's being said, no matter how you're being treated. You're accepting everything. You don't even fight anymore. So what do? I told you we're talking solution based today because this is the end of the side effects week, and I want to leave you with some answers. How do you protect yourself? You stop romanticizing red flags. That's one thing. You stop explaining away what God is exposing. Stop calling things complicated when they're actually just plain unhealthy. That's what you do. And you start to learn to trust your discernment again. Not every open door is God. Huh? Not every opportunity that you come across is purpose. It's not. Not every connection, and hear me when I say this, is covenant. I don't care how it was packaged. I don't know how it was dressed up. I don't care how it was presented or introduced to you. I don't care if you was in church and somebody said, God told me to tell you that's what. No, not every connection is covenant. Some things are just tests, not blessings. Please hear me when I say that. Look, you got to be mature enough, and maturity is learning to walk away before damage is done. That's maturity. Talk about checking the labels today. Last thing I want to leave you with, and I'm almost done. Everything produces results. If everything has ingredients, everything has warnings, then everything produces results. Let's look at the reality of this. Everything you continue consuming will eventually produce evidence. Do you believe that? Everything you continue to consume will eventually produce evidence of it. Seeds always grow. They always grow. You can't constantly feed on fear and produce peace. No, that's just, that won't work like that. You can't entertain negativity and produce joy. Just like you shouldn't surround yourself with confusion constantly and expect clarity. Eventually what's in you will show up through you. And this is why, people, this is why. Let me say this. People are frustrated with their lives. They're praying for one thing, but they're feeding the opposite. Think about that for a minute. Praying for peace, but you're consuming chaos. You praying for discipline, right? But you're feeding distraction. You want to grow, so you pray for growth, but you're staying connected to what weakens you. And God is saying, look, the harvest is connected to what you keep planting. You got to realize that your life will eventually reveal what your spirit has been consuming. It will. This is why protecting your spirit matters. Because environments shape appetites, and appetites shape behavior, and behavior, listen when I say it, shapes your destiny. That's why certain atmospheres drain you, certain conversations alter you, certain people confuse you, because what surrounds you eventually influences you. Oh, that's good. That's good, boy. So let me go ahead and give you an answer to this because I told you it's solution based. You just become selective. I'll say it like that. You just become selective. You become selective. That's what you do. You become selective. What enters your ears, what enters your heart, what you allow in your atmosphere, who you allow in your circle. You become selective because everybody can't feed your spirit. You got to understand that everybody does not have what you need. Everything that entertains you is not nourishing you. Some things are just unhealthy, spiritually unhealthy, even if they are the norm. It's just spiritually unhealthy. Protecting your spirit is wisdom. It's not weakness. Protecting your spirit is wisdom. Please hear me when I say this. So, getting ready to close this out, and I thank all of you for joining us for the ride this week. It's been a heck of a ride, I must say. But I'm going to say this, and I'm done. Before you allow it into your life, check the label. Before you say yes, check the label. Before you reconnect, check the label. Before you entertain it, please hear me when I say this, check the label. And ask yourself, what are the ingredients? What warnings am I ignoring? And what fruit will this eventually produce in my life? Because everything comes with side effects. And wisdom, listen to me, and I'm going to say it like this. Wisdom is not just knowing what feels good. Wisdom is knowing what produces life. Imagine somebody with a severe allergy or something. Yeah, I'll say a severe allergy walking through a grocery store, walking through the store. You're in there and they're walking through the store, and they don't just grab things emotionally. They don't choose based on packaging alone. They don't say, well, it looks good. That's not what they do, right? They inspect it carefully. You know why? Because they understand something powerful. What enters my system can either help me or harm me. And God said, and I am done. The reason some people keep suffering spiritually is because they're consuming things emotionally without ever checking the label. I am done. God bless each and every one of you. We will be riding it again next week with a brand new series. I hope and pray that someone got something out of this week. Thank you again. Tell somebody, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell somebody you love, you like, however, to join us each and every morning for the ride to work. God bless you.